Дойче Думков, ты еще увидишь, как из-за твоей продажной глупости, Анна-Лена Бербок, Берлин будет гореть.
Надо как-то сделать так, чтобы американские солдаты начали гибнуть.
Да мы сотрем в порошок Варшаву и Вильнюс.
Почему мы признаем Францию в ее границах?
Как я хочу посмотреть, чтобы Урсулиха фон дер Ляля корчилась с куском беспилотника в глотке.
Когда на сегодняшний день мы говорим, что война будет безъядерной, мы, наверное, лукавим.
По количеству на душу населения, правда, Канада ее опережает, но Америка – это мировая держава победила.
Я сейчас требую спалить Берлин.
In recent years, Russia has increasingly relied on a strategy of nuclear intimidation, wielding its arsenal of weapons of mass destruction as a means to bully the civilized world. Just recently, Russia announced exercises to practice the deployment of tactical nuclear weapons under Putin's personal directive. Alongside threats of nuclear strikes against Western nations, these drills serve as a clear attempt to intimidate Ukraine's allies and dissuade them from aiding Ukraine. However, this behavior merely reveals the Kremlin's fear and lack of alternative means to influence the situation. So what exactly does the Russian nuclear intimidation sound like? Let's look at a couple of examples. Here is a Russian prominent propagandist Dmitry Kiselyov, brazenly declaring Russia's readiness to unleash its nuclear arsenal upon the world if NATO countries deploy their troops to Ukraine. If NATO countries deploy their forces to Ukraine in order to blow strategic defeat to Russia, then the very moment will come of which Putin has spoken. Why do we need a world if Russia is not in it? In that case, we will send everything flying everywhere. Sarmat, Yars, and avant-garde missiles. American decision-making centers and launch sites on land and sea are already in our crosshairs. France as a nuclear power will have to be immediately disarmed. The British Isles will simply go underwater. We have the technologies for this, and we have talked about them before, but it would be better not to take things that far. And this isn't propaganda.
И это не пропаганда.
And here is Sergei Karaganov, chairman of the Presidium of the Foreign and Defense Policy Council, echoing Kiselyov's hostile sentiments, calling for simulated strikes against European targets with strategic weapons. Such exercises, it seems to me, should have been conducted even earlier. I hope that they will be followed by other steps on the nuclear escalation ladder. For example, exercises with simulated strikes against European targets with strategic weapons, if necessary, if our Western adversaries, who have gone completely mad in their hatred of Russia and their own failure, do not stop. There are quite a few steps on the ladder of nuclear escalation. I would like our Western adversaries to stop, but they must realize that they have crossed all the red lines and we have been patient for too long. And then there is propagandist Vladimir Solovyov, hinting at using tactical nuclear weapons against French cities. At the same time, there was Macron's statement that he was ready for a French expeditionary corps to land, and he was offering us strategic uncertainty. Now he has strategic uncertainty, which I'll repeat again, whether it's Nantes or Paris, that Macron wants to see destroyed. That kind of strategic uncertainty. Yes, of course, tactical nuclear weapons are unlikely to be suitable for this purpose. But I want to remind you that tactical nuclear weapons can be and are installed on a wide variety of carriers, and our relatively modest TNT equivalent is still several times greater than the fat man that was dropped on Hiroshima. These propagandists masquerading as journalists serve as mouthpieces for the Kremlin's expansionist agenda. Through their words and actions, they seek to instill fear and uncertainty in the minds of their adversaries, while advancing Russia's imperialistic ambitions. The truth is that Moscow is well aware of catastrophic consequences for Russia itself in the event of the use of nuclear weapons. The only purpose of the Russian exercises and such statements is to intimidate the world and force it to make concessions with Russia on completely unreasonable terms. That's why, in the face of Russian blackmail, the civilized world must stand together and push back against Russia's smear campaigns aimed at undermining democracy and the world order with its ruthless aggression and deceit. After all, there is no other recipe against the world of lies than courage.